This startup is so good. Y'all just had to hear it twice. Anyway, this year in 2016, there's the major milestone in the gaming industry. PlayStation's 20th anniversary. Being a child born right, there are so many good games under their name that I can't do them all in one video. So not only am I opening up my top 10 series with a bang, but I'm also starting a mini series of my favorite games with each console, starting the PS1. That's when the gaming industry took a dramatic turn and upgraded in style in the mid-90s. I have touched your shelves, but still show some appreciation. If y'all enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And with that being said, let's start the series. Starting out with number 10, Bust the Groove. Now, in case you didn't know, there are two games that sound so similar. This one and Bust a Move. They're both entirely different from each other. Trust me. Anyway, this game is lowest on the list because even though I loved it from the first time, it's also the only PlayStation game that I played only Dance Dance Revolution treatment of using a dance pad. It was colorful, the music was too groovy not to dance to, and the characters look pretty badass. It's a pretty rare game nowadays. Try finding a copy of it online. You are blessed if you happen to come across a copy of this game at a price that's less than $100. That's how rare it is. Number 9, Bust a Move 4. Here's the other one that I love so much. This game is a super fun, bubble-busting puzzle game that I just cannot put down once I'm on it. Sure, Tetris has the blocks, but bubbles are better. All of the characters are adorable, and I just love hard puzzles. I'm a hardcore puzzle gamer, and this one hits me with a sucker punch in the gut. The story mode is what gets me the most. Just a warning for y'all that haven't played it. When you get to this baby in the frog suit, which is adorable by the way, watch out. It will whoop your shit the hard way. I still love the game though. Number 8, Doom. This is the only first-person shooter I play, period. I love watching others every now and then, but I just can't get into actually playing them for some reason. Doom, however, is the best to play in my book. There are no mandatory missions to follow, and the only thing you have to do is survive. The monsters are scary, but they don't give me nightmares. It's simple to play, and the weapon arsenal is cray-cray. Get that BFG and your enemies are done for. Vaporized, disintegrated, just gone. Use it carefully though. Get too close to your specified target and you'll die with it. Also, the movie based off of this game, it's unnecessary in my opinion. Why don't y'all go ahead and make a movie based off of Tetris while you're at it? Jeez. Number 7, Tekken 3. Being an avid Tekken fan, you saw one of the classics come up at some point. I prefer Tekken 3 because of how highly detailed it looks for a PlayStation game. The story, and the characters. One interesting note to point out here, Christy was gonna debut on this one, but something came up and they put Eddie in instead. She was eventually released in Tekken 4 though. I wonder why she was put on hold. That I don't know. Please do let me know in the comment section below when you can. Anyway, the nostalgic reason why I love Tekken 3 specifically is because of that one-time character in the series, Gon. He was the shortest in any fighting game, period. I understand why they wouldn't bring him back in future Tekken games because of copyrights, but still, for a short dinosaur with awesome wordless manga, he sure did put himself in my spotlight. Plus, his ending is the only one that doesn't stop until you press something. Personally, I could watch it for hours on end and it'll never get old. Number 6. Bloody Roar 2. Again, another vividly designed fighting game for the first PlayStation. It's got a unique fighting system where you can turn into an animal and just savagely attack your opponent like a mad dog. Even a rabbit can kill you. Believe me. Just imagine it. The rabbit curls you up into a ball, probably breaking every bone in your body, and just starts kicking you with its knees and massive feet like a professional soccer player, and then kicks you via a backflipping kick towards a wall. Your life, as well as your pride and confidence, is dead after that in real life. But in the game, your health is down to the point of no victory after that. The deadliest animal to be on that game is a mole though. You've got massive claws that can pierce through your shoulders and your gut. You'll be bleeding for days. Fortunately, it's not like Mortal Kombat in terms of the blood supply. Speaking of... Number 5. Mortal Kombat Trilogy. This is the best Mortal Kombat game I've played next to the 9th installment of the franchise. It's got all 3 of the classic games in one, and it introduced the ultimate cheat, one-button fatalities. Depending on the button you press after you hear "finish him" or "finish her," you could perform one of 2 fatalities, a babality, a friendship, an animality, or a brutality. That last one is my favorite. You beat them up at a critically high speed until your final uppercut breaks them into bloody pieces. It's also the only Mortal Kombat game where you can get a supreme demonstration of every fatality, animality, friendship, and babality for your viewing pleasure. Get a light snack while you enjoy that too. Number 4. Gran Turismo. The best driving simulator of all time started off with a bang with this one. Hard to believe it's standard if you want to hone your driving skills. They say people who play those kinds of racing games are much better drivers in real life than... So, Grand Theft Auto does not count because all that game teaches you is the fastest way to go to jail. So, to those that do play that franchise, please do me a favor and just stop. That's how shootings are happening all over the 50 states nowadays. It's not the single reason, but it just seems like it. All of my favorite cars from that era are on there, and I'm not bored from it, although I prefer my Fairlady Z any day. I know they don't call it by that name anymore, but still, that was my go-to car if I wanted to win. Fun fact, I played every single Gran Turismo game except the 4th one. I've just never been able to get around to it for some reason. Number 3. Tai Fu, Wrath of the Tiger. This is a PlayStation game that some of you probably have never even heard about. For those of you that haven't heard of it, it's a brilliantly animated adventure game where you play as Tai, a young tiger warrior that's out to avenge his father, Lao Fu of the White Tiger Clan, who was killed by the Dragon Master and his army of serpents. Along the way, Tai masters so many different kung fu styles. The chi powers of the mantis, the crane, the monkey, and the leopard, and the Dragon Master. It's a very challenging game that requires plenty of patience. There will be some crafty obstacles, but once you get the hang of it, it's a breeze. Now, if only they would make a movie out of this game. I was hoping for that, but we get Kung Fu Panda instead. Now, don't get me wrong, that movie franchise is pretty awesome and adorable, but just make one movie based off of Tai Fu and I'll be happy. The game story and well-detailed cutscenes are worthy of a CGI adaptation. Number 2, all 3 Spyro games. As you can see, I don't have the one game per franchise rule in effect on this one. I love those first 3 Spyro the Dragon games so much that I can't pick just one. So all 3, Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage, and Spyro Year of the Dragon, are all at the number 2 spot on my list. If I had to choose between Crash Bandicoot or that lovable purple dragon, it would be you-know-who. The first one started the PlayStation's rise to glory, and it made an excellent impression. I can play it over and over and over again, and it'll never get old to me. Plus, its colorful appearance makes me smile. The second one introduced some new moves for my favorite dragon to master: swimming, climbing, and the head bash. That last move looks like it gives the little guy a headache every time I have to use it, but he looks unfazed by it each time, thank God. And it's pretty fun when you get to fight Crush, Gulp, and Ripto, especially Ripto. When you get Infinite Superfly and Super Flame in the final act of the battle, watch out now. It gets addictively challenging. Lastly, Year of the Dragon is the most fun I could ever have and experience. And even all of the 143 names are cute. The one name that caught my eye was Thelonious. When I saw it, I was expecting a male baby dragon to hatch, but it was a female instead. That shocked me then, and it still shocks me today. Lastly, you gotta give it credit for giving Spyro the super sick ability to skateboard for the first time. You have an endless possibility of tricks to do and just twist it all out of control for an insane boost in points. You can actually do a trick called the Nasty Nork. It's an impossible move to get to, but I did it by accident one time, so it can be done. It just takes loads and loads of practice, y'all. Now, before we put my number 1 pick into my favorite game console and give it a spin, here's just one honorable mention that has quite a set of just 3 discs to put in. Final Fantasy VII. This is the best Final Fantasy in the entire franchise, in my opinion. I've seen the others, and both story and design-wise, they all don't even come close to being as iconic as this one. All of the characters are awesome, Barrett and Sid being badass. Sephiroth is the sexiest looking antagonist I've ever seen, and it was the very first video game that actually made me cry. courtesy of Aerith's sudden death by the blade of Sephiroth. The very first time I saw that scene, it was totally unexpected, and it just shocked me to the max. I was really hoping we'd have her throughout our entire journey, but nope. It's still the best game Square Enix has ever come up with, and with the remake of it coming around the corner for the PS4, here's hoping it'll be 100 times better than it was back in 1997. That's nearly 20 years in the making. Now on to my #1 favorite silver disc. #1, Croc, Legend of the Gobos. This is my all-time favorite PlayStation game out of all of the entire game library for this system ever. The game itself looks amazing. Croc himself is just the cutest reptile in the world. His story is relatable and heartwarming. The music makes me dance or hum along each time, and the gameplay is special in its own way. Much like Typhoon, the levels are extremely challenging, and he kind of gives off a much more kid-friendly perspective in comparison. Journey without shooting animals, getting chased by boulders without blood, or being able to swim for hours without running out of breath. This is the adventure game for you. Again, I love Tomb Raider, but I prefer Croc. At least I won't get stuck on a level that's practically a maze. What really makes this game stand out the most is the collecting mechanism. There's a final secret world, and in order to gain access to it without cheating, you have to do the following. Collect every cute little furry gobo in the game, and complete each secret level in every world, and there are 2 to go to in each one. At the end of those secret levels, there's a puzzle piece instead of the traditional gong. You collect all those puzzle pieces, and you've immediately gained exclusive access to the final secret world after defeating Baron Dante, of course. It's crazy colorful, and the music is just spooky, but the level... Thank you all so much for watching this video and celebrating the 20th anniversary of PlayStation with me. Here's hoping for another 20 years. And enjoy the video. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share it with all your friends. And do share with me what your favorite PlayStation games are in the comments section below. The PlayStation 2 countdown will be coming up soon, so be on the lookout for it. So until then, I'm Eva Lechterbuyer, telling you to stay positive, stay electric, and be nice to everyone. God bless. Deuces!